Retirement is dead. You are not. I know what some of you might be thinking. What might this 42-year-old possibly know about retirement? But listen, I basically came out of the womb antique shopping, wearing orthotics, and generally just feeling older than my age. I formed lifelong friendships with 50-year-olds in my 20s, and I became an AARP member in my 30s. It's weird. I know. I've been told. AARP stands for American Association of Retired Persons, and no, I'm not their target demographic, but hot tip, you can become a member at any age and score those early bird discounts too. My girlfriends and I have played this game called Older for as long as I can remember. Here we are in our early teens, looking less than thrilled as we envision the joys of entering the workforce, getting married, and having kids. Of course, we were much more enthusiastic to envision what it might be like to be 21 years old. I bet you played this game too. Some people call it underage drinking. No, we called it Older. The rules of the game are quite simple. Sit and envision your dream life, and then pretend that is your life. That is it. We spend hours playing this game, building imaginary futures. When you look ahead 10 or 20 years, do you like what you see? See, as I aged and looked far into my future, I became less enchanted with what I saw. It wasn't about looks. According to AI, I'm going to look better than I do now. My problem is with retirement, specifically with the way we view retirement as a society. I feel like we're being handed a script for a part that no one wants to play. We need new rules for retirement, and we need a new script. To get us started, let's rewind and reflect on how retirement came into the picture. Retirement was introduced in the late 1800s. Before that, the economy was largely agrarian, and most people worked until they couldn't. Regardless of the type of work, when one could no longer provide for themselves, they relied on their families for support. Let me share a visual with you that haunted me. Did anybody ever see the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Yeah. In the movie, there's a scene where they show the inside of Charlie's family's home. His 4 grandparents live with him, and it looks something like this. His 4 grandparents share the one and only bed in the home. Can you imagine 4 adults, toes touching? Yeah, me neither. In hindsight, perhaps it was this dismal display of aging that inspired me to pursue this work, and less so playing older, but still. Well, pensions and Social Security entered the scene, and they minimized the chances that one would have to experience old age as Charlie's grandparents did. These social benefit programs were not created out of luxury. They were created out of necessity. In 1935, when Social Security was introduced during the Great Depression, the life expectancy for men who lived until adulthood was early 60s. Yet the age set for one to receive benefits was 65. Let that sink in. The economists and actuaries behind this model must have thought that they had it all figured out. In reality, it was it's more of a fleeting reward and less of a privilege. Many wouldn't live long enough to receive this benefit, or at least not for long. Fast forward to today, and things have changed. Now, retirement may span anywhere from 25 to 35 years, a length of time that rivals the length of your entire career. So yeah, this is no longer a brief intermission. This is a whole new act. Given the extended time frame and costs associated with living longer, it is an incredible advantage to learn how to reinvent yourself multiple times over. So, can we retire the concept of retirement? Not completely, but we can certainly rebrand it. And let's toss out these ridiculous retirement party decorations while we're at it. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't insult a preschooler with these tchotchkes, let alone a well-respected professional. Retirement deserves a fresh look, much like a company rebrands to stay relevant. So let's do this. Let's give retirement a glow up, and let's tackle 3 myths while we do. Myth number 1, retirement means that we are done. There's this pervasive belief that retirement marks the end of our meaningful and productive contributions to society. It's seen as a finish line, a point where we step away from purpose and into obscurity. The root of the word might actually be part of the problem. Retire originates from the French word retire, which was used in the 16th century to describe armies retreating or withdrawing from battle. It evokes images of a head hung low, dejected, in defeat. Another use of the word means return to bed, as in, I'm going to retire for the night. I mean, come on, it's like, let's dim the lights. It's time to trade in your suit for a Snuggie, for life. The show is over. Look no further than the retirement card section. Even the best cartoonists are in on the joke. Do you really want to look like this guy? He doesn't look retired. He looks sick. And retirees don't sleep all day. Sleep becomes more elusive as you age, but also retirees are some of the most active people I know. In fact, many of them are far from finished and are just getting started. According to the 2021 Kaufman Indicators of Entrepreneurship report, 23% of new entrepreneurs in the United States are between the ages of 55 and 64. Even more compelling, a recent MIT study found that entrepreneurs aged 50 are twice as likely to build successful companies as those aged 30. This is not a coincidence. These individuals have the network, the net worth, and the knowledge that set them apart from younger entrepreneurs. Retirees are advancing, and they are leveraging everything that they've acquired over a lifetime. Please, do not let ageism convince you that your time to contribute is over. Your experience and wisdom are not your limitations. They are your superpowers. Let me tell you a story about Terry. For decades, she happily taught elementary and middle school students how to read and write. And then one day, a realization hit her like a wave. I don't want to do this anymore. She can still recall that moment with striking clarity. She knew it was time for a change. So after discussing options with her husband and financial planner, she made the brave decision to retire at the end of the school year. It wasn't an easy choice, but it felt right. We can all agree that life is predictably unpredictable. 2 months after she retired, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was a blow, an unexpected twist in her story. Yet even in the midst of her treatment, she turned to the 2 things that she loved most, reading and writing. She started writing short stories, and then longer ones. Those stories evolved into chapters. And over the course of 2 years, as her cancer cells shrunk, those chapters grew into a book. Today, at 68 years old, Terry is now cancer-free and also a published author, proving that it is never too late to reinvent yourself or to make the next chapter better than the last. Terry's my mom. Close your eyes and envision one long Viagra ad. Live day after day after day. No, seriously, do it. You see, society sells retirement as endless rounds of golf, hand-holding on the beach, and carefree sunsets with your lover. It is a glossy, picture-perfect fantasy, isn't it? This narrative is a trap, and it brings us to myth number 2. Retirement is an endless vacation. This fantasy paints the unrealistic expectation that retirement is an eternal vacation filled with only pleasure. And sure, many may enjoy this newfound freedom, but sadly, this joy may recede along with your hairline. All kidding aside, the absence of purpose and routine we have come to know for decades can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and grief. Our work is a significant source of our self-worth and our social lives, and then poof, suddenly, it all ends. It is an identity crisis wrapped in a gold watch. So let's be honest, most retirement journeys come with the side of, who the hell am I now? This is exactly what happened to Andrea, a senior HR executive with 35 years of experience. She spent her career managing 20,000 employees, including through the chaos of COVID. Burnt out and reaching that age, she jumped off the corporate ladder into what she envisioned would be a pool of pleasure. Unfortunately, she miscalculated the jump. Instead of bliss, she found herself adrift, no longer anchored by the routine and deadlines that had once given her purpose. Embarrassed and frustrated, she embarked on a 3-year quest to find the answers to questions commonly asked at this liminal space. Who am I without my impressive title? Where did all my work friends go? And what the hell am I going to do with all my time? Andrea realized it wasn't retirement that she wanted. It was to remain relevant and to use all of her hard-earned wisdom to help others. Andrea didn't need a vacation. What she needed was a new vocation. And today, that is exactly what she has. Now, she is a boomer helping a millennial find the confidence to pursue her passion. That millennial is me. I was once her retirement coach, but the tables have turned. She has become my guide as I find my entrepreneurial footing. Retirement is about transformation. It's about recalibrating, adjusting your GPS to find a new direction that aligns with who you've become. It's about asking, how can I use my experience and wisdom in new ways? How can I continue to grow and give back? And when we do this, we see it for what it truly is, a new beginning, not an endless vacation. It takes time to uncover what comes next, but it's a journey worth taking. Which brings us to myth number 3. Retirement is when we are happiest. How many of you have ever heard a loved one counting down the days until retirement? They tell themselves and everyone else, they always tell everyone else that retirement is when they'll finally be happy and free. In 3 years, 2 months, and 10 days is finally when you'll enjoy their company. This is called deferred happiness, believing that your best years are ahead of you, something like a prize waiting at the end of your career. But happiness doesn't work like that. In fact, 2 of the top regrets of the dying are wishing that they hadn't worked so hard and wishing that they had allowed themselves to be happier along the way. Happiness is not something we wait for. It is something we create now. Think back to your senior year of high school, standing on the edge of graduation. Remember how you were encouraged to dream big, even though you knew very little? You had that unearned confidence, yet the world still cheered you on. Isn't it ironic that we will be called seniors once again? What if we viewed seniors with the same optimism we give to high school seniors? What if we viewed retirement with the same enthusiasm and fanfare we give to graduation, treating it as a capstone project of one's life? When we do this, a new script on aging emerges, new rules for retirement unfold. You see, the golden ages refers to periods of prosperity and intellectual flourishing. It's not history, it's not a movie, it is your life right now. You are gold in age. Thank you.